Cool kids. What it is, cool kids. So this is a quick response video from my old buddy, the Kansas Kid. Great guy. Check out his channel. There's going to be a link in the description. He had some interesting thoughts about stacking in this brave new world of ours with all these brave new price points. And it is kind of scary, and it is something to really think about because a boo-boo now could be very costly later. But that is why I had to make this video, because there is a couple thoughts I wanted to add. And one of them, the big one, was the talk of the GSR. So it's important to know the history. Not that history always repeats, but it rhymes, right? History rhymes. It doesn't repeat exactly, but it rhymes. You know, Germany in a world war, that rhymes, for example. I gotta quit. You guys are gonna get me in trouble. So, the GSR, right? Now, you gotta realize when you're talking about silver and gold and precious metals or any investment vehicle, although I would argue these are hedges, not investments, but again, that's semantics. But anytime you're talking about this stuff, you have to keep in mind that time immemorial is how far back this stuff goes, and we have patterns and we have data, and even though that data doesn't exactly repeat, it rhymes. Okay, I want to keep that theme going. I want you guys to pull out your silver charts, and I want you to look at the year 2011. It was the last big run-up, okay? And what I want you to do then is in one chart, I want you to pull up gold, and the other one I want you to pull up silver, or you can simply pull up a GSR chart. And what I want you to look at is not 2011. Ooh, that was exciting, right? I want you to look at 2012, and I want you to see where the GSR went. Now, the GSR went into the 30s. That was when you traded silver for gold. Okay, you did the swap. All right. There was another opportunity to do something very similar. If you look at the chart, you'll see actually there have been 3 or 4 opportunities in the last 80 years to really do a GSR swap. And what I am simply pointing out to you guys is that it's happened several times before. It will happen again. So, where do you want to be when that swap comes? We can do some math, and I can run some scenarios and show you why buying gold instead of silver when the GSR is at 80 or higher is going to net you less gold in the end. I can do that math for you. Odds are. But the question is, what is your timetable? That's another thing. By the way, I'm not giving investment advice, guys. This is just me spitballing, right? Because I'm a madman. I'm a mad scientist. So if I had this 1 ounce of silver, goodness, right? Okay. And I could trade it in for one small little hunk of gold. Let's say I have 10 of these, 10 ounces of these silvery goodness, right? I bought them. Who cares what I bought them for? Because I don't believe that the dollar amount you paid for something is going to matter eventually. I believe that one day dollars are going to be worth nothing. Okay, so if you come into it with that mentality, it gives you a different perspective. But if the GSR goes to its traditional, which this is, pie in the sky, I get it, 13 to 1. Well, 13 of these gets me an ounce of gold. But let's say it's not that good. It's 36 to 1 like it was in 2012. Well, 36 ounces of silver is pretty damn easy to get compared to 1 ounce of gold right now. And that's my point. So I'm not saying don't buy gold. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's going to be a time. It's happened several times. It will happen again. When having 30 of these, or 30 or 40 of these, is going to get you an ounce of gold. Wait for that time, do the swap, and you're going to get more gold. than if you sat here and skipped silver. Because remember, opportunity cost is always part of the equation. You skip silver and instead purchased gold directly. That could be a mistake, especially at all-time highs. But having some gold is still better. I agree with everyone here. I think we'll all agree having gold is still going to be better in the long run, maybe not in the short term, than having Federal Reserve notes. Okay? And again, non-investment advice, just if you believe for 1 second that the dollar is going to zero, any amount of gold for your dollars is going to eventually be worthwhile. But the question is when and to what extent, right? So these are the answers you have to come up with. I can't answer these questions for you. As a matter of fact, I can't even tell you for sure that the dollar is going to lose all its value, even though it's lost 97% or so already, probably more than that at this point. But what I can tell you is if you are calculating your hours of work, your time, because that's what this is, this whole exchange is time. What is intrinsic value if not time used to produce the product? Scarcity is a factor, desirability is a factor, but time is the primary thing. It takes time to dig the ore out of the ground. It takes time and work to purify it. It takes time and work to create the platelets and planchets that create these coins or rounds, right? That's time. That's energy. That's intrinsic value, okay? And again, scarcity and desirability are a part of that. That's why when people talk about cryptocurrencies, I'm a little, color me skeptical, because there is no real resources being used other than electricity being burnt, which to me seems counterproductive, actually, because it's just, if you believe in global warming, you probably shouldn't mine cryptocurrencies, right? And if you believe in holding something in your hand, cryptocurrencies ain't it, okay? Now, that's not to poo-poo on them. It's just, when you ask about what intrinsic value is, it's the fact that this hunk of silver will be a hunk of silver no matter what the dollar does. This 1 ounce of silver from Armenia is still an ounce of silver when Armenia is gone. It no longer exists, right? It didn't exist before. It will not exist again. But this hunk of silver, potentially, if not melted down and turned into something else, but somewhere, somehow, these atoms of silver are going to exist, and they're still going to be just as useful then as they are now. And there's over 10,000 uses for this stuff, guys. Okay? Gold doesn't have that many uses, by the way. Just going to throw it out there. So even if you look at it as a industrial metal, from that perspective, silver is the play. Now, monetary-wise, I would argue that the correlation between gold and silver is about 97% over time. So again, we're talking the big picture, guys. If the correlation is 97% in general price direction, remember silver is more volatile, so it moves up and down, bigger moves. There's way more. If you say you're a day trader, honestly, the movements in silver are bigger, and if you play them right, there's more money to be made. Percentage movements are going to be bigger, right? So the buy low, sell high, if you're able to catch the signs and run the technicals, there's way more money to be made in silver, I would argue, than gold. Gold is more of a safe haven asset, right? Anybody if you want to tell me in the comments where I'm wrong, let me know. But I'm telling you that ultimately, even in the larger picture, this stuff turns into the other stuff, the stuff you want. So for the Kansas kid, I would just say, if you're buying an ounce of gold, the opportunity cost of that is 80 ounces of this stuff. And on the flip side, when it hits 30-something to 1, you see what I'm saying here? You see what you did? You bought 1 ounce of gold when you could have had, see it? Do the math. You're cheating yourself. But the question is, do you have the stones and the time? Because everyone has a different timetable. If you're 70 years old, you're not waiting on the GSR to flip to 36 to 1, right? You can't. Right now, you're selling every hunk of silver you got, or gold. Odds are. Well, they're at all-time highs. Those are the people that are selling. The old diamond hands have now become the soft hands, and that's okay. It's their time to shine. They waited decades, literally. Some of them bought in 1980, guys. Some of these cats were buying silver in 1980. Think about them for a second. They finally get a chance, not even adjusted for inflation, but just a chance, right, to, in their own minds, break even on this stuff, right? So that's the danger zone of silver. That was the bad time to buy silver, 1980. Okay? You've had 40 years to accumulate this stuff, guys. 40 years if you've been alive since 1980, right? Am I doing my math right? 45 years. 45 years to accumulate. And the accumulation time may not be over. We don't know what the all-time highs are going to be. Silver has a lot of room to grow. Gold doesn't. Gold's already there. Yeah, it's down, 10%. It's down 10% from those all-time highs. But silver isn't even, if you adjust for inflation, silver isn't even it's like a quarter of the way there. So you tell me, even from that perspective, how on earth buying gold makes sense unless you're just trying to, get a cool piece you like. You see, like for me, if I was buying gold right now, I'd be looking for like numismatic stuff. Because the bullion, is really pricey. But if I see like an old school, Spanish doubloon that's near melt, I'm grabbing it. You know what I'm saying? So that's, for me, now that's just me. I'm not telling you guys what to do. But to me, it makes more sense to grab 1 ounce generic rounds of silver, wait for that GSR to flip again, check the chart. I'm telling you guys, pull up the chart. It happens. It's happened. It happened in 2012. 2012. That wasn't that long ago, guys. That was 13 years ago. We're acting like it was a century ago. It was 13 years ago, guys. So I'm just saying, to me, and I'm not giving advice, silver's the play right now. GSR's over 80. GSR over 80, it's silver. It's got to be silver, guys. And don't forget platinum. So in 2020, there was a great opportunity to buy platinum, right? And I remember when it happened, and I tried to buy some, and I couldn't find any. Okay, that's how. So, and that's the other part of this whole equation. Is it there? It's available. We know what the paper price is, but is the metal available? In 2020, when I was buying silver with every penny I had, I was also looking at platinum before I greenlighted that, because platinum was at low prices. Okay. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but platinum is like 10 times more rare than gold. And I know scarcity is not everything, but platinum has a long history. I consider it a monetary metal because it's part of electrum, which electrum was like one of the first monetary metals. So, we can pretend that platinum wasn't part of that picture, but it was. We didn't know it at the time, granted, but it was there. So to me, now it's a lesser monetary metal. To me, the three monetary metals are gold, silver, and copper. And a lot of people forget about Dr. Copper, okay? I don't. Copper, the problem with copper, it's the same problem silver has. It takes up a lot of space. And copper way more so, okay? But copper is perfectly legitimate to stack if you can get it at melt or less. There's several ways to do that, but we're not going to get into that. Copper could be traded for silver or gold, right? And you can watch ratios on everything. And the other ratio I'm watching is land valuations, right? Because ultimately, I want to end up with something to leave my progeny that they never have to worry about where their next meal's coming from, because it's coming from the land. You see what I'm saying? So that's my dream. That's my hope. And you guys, you're doing your vehicle for your dream, your hope, your investment journey, your precious metal journey. And that is awesome, guys. But what I'm saying is, there's so many different pieces moving. And what you have to look at is what rhymes with historical norms, because eventually those times are going to come back. And we've already seen that just last week when silver hit $50 an ounce. Remember that? It was 2 weeks ago. It was crazy, right? It was whoo, right? Now we're down to like 48, but it's holding. And that tells you that there's a platform there for more growth, potentially. And again, I'm not telling you, I don't care what silver's valued at in dollars, except that it hurts me getting more. And see, so you have to have that mentality to understand what I'm saying. And it can be the same way with gold. If you feel the same way about gold and gold's your play it. But I'm telling you that there is going to come a time where the GSR is going to flip into the 40s or 30s. It's going to happen. It happened in 2012. It's going to happen again. Okay? And when it happens, if you're alive, you're going to want to know that. And I'm just telling you, there's a signal out there. Watch for that signal and have the hunks of this that are going to make that signal really pay off for you. Now, granted, a lot of the stuff I'm showing you here today, guys, wouldn't really be used for a GSR swap. I just happened to grab the only binder I have here because I took everything back to the storage place. So I'm just trying to demonstrate what I'm talking about with this stuff. Yeah, if you're wanting to do a GSR swap, I also suggest instead of paying for premium coins, I would do generic rounds. So, and I'm kind of a hypocrite for that in a sense because I don't really buy a lot of generic rounds. Mostly I buy foreign silver coins because I can get these under melt. Now, not this one. This one's definitely not under melt, but this one definitely is. So, I can get these under melt all the time, every day. I get them under melt. Yeah. Way under melt sometimes. Like this is a crazy example if I remember right. Yeah, 80 cents. That's $5 worth of silver for 80 cents. Which, the only thing better than that is Coinstar, by the way, guys. Coinstar is the best deal on silver. It doesn't even cost you the 10, 50, or 25 cents that it initially ran. It costs you much, much less. So that's awesome. Ooh. Ethiopia. So, anyway, cool kids, that's all I got for today. Have a great day. Kansas Kid, I'm not calling you out. You can stack whatever you want. I just want you to think about Dalmatia. I mean, did I say that out loud? Croatia. I mean, they're the same place, but yeah, there it is. I want you to think about trading these in right here, this right here. I want you to think about, you got a stack of 36 of these things, and you say, may I have an ounce of gold, please? And then they're going to say, whoever you're trading with, and by the way, you don't have to go to a pawn shop to do this, guys. You can trade with your fellow stackers. As a matter of fact, Kansas Kid, you might be the guy I come to see with the 36 Dalmatians, because you're going to want that silver when the GSR flips. You're going to want it. I promise. I promise. Because when it flips like that, silver's going to look pretty damn good. And gold's still going to be awesome too, hopefully. I mean, odds are. It was in 2012, and it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. Wasn't a bad thing to have in 2012. It won't be a bad thing then either. But you have to realize, and I'm going to say one more thing, and I'm ending this damn video. Gold and silver ratio, the real gold to silver ratio is 10 to 1 out of the ground. And you got to keep in mind, we actually destroy silver all the time. All the time. We don't destroy gold. We don't destroy gold. Gold, generally speaking, unless somebody gets buried with a gold filling, goes right back to the smelter and gets reused. Because it's, people don't think about it like silver. Silver seems more disposable, it seems. And a lot of it goes in the landfill. Old film, old... computer components, phone components, it all goes to the landfill. Think about solder. Solder used to have silver in it. All that's in the landfill. There's a lot of silver in the landfills, guys. Okay? And X-rays. X-rays go to the landfill. And so many cool things go to landfill. So keep that in mind. Silver to gold, the real ratio is 10 to 1. I've seen as low as 8 to 1. And the current rates, 80 to 1, they're 10 times what they should be. 8 times what they should be, sorry. That's too much. It's not sustainable. Have an amazing day. Thanks for watching. I hope you find all the collectibles of your dreams while you're awake. If you can't find them, don't blame me. I'm trying to show them to you, and have an amazing day.